Men everywhere having the same realization at the same time. They're watching the same patterns, seeing the same behaviors, recognizing the same contradictions. It's like a collective awakening happening in real time. And what they're waking up to isn't hatred or anger. It's clarity. Clarity about what certain modern dating dynamics have become. Clarity about standards that don't match reality. Clarity about expectations that only flow one direction. Let me walk you through what men are finally starting to see, and why this recognition is changing everything. The first thing the men are noticing is how some women demand standards they don't meet themselves. She wants a six-figure earner while she's unemployed. She demands loyalty while maintaining backup options. She expects emotional maturity while throwing tantrums. She requires perfection while offering participation trophies. The hypocrisy isn't subtle anymore, it's glaring. I had a client show me his ex's dating profile. Her requirements list was longer than a CVS receipt. Must be 6 feet 2 inches. Must make $150,000 minimum. Must have no kids. Must own property. Must be fit. Must be emotionally available but not needy. This same woman, unemployed, living with parents, 2 kids from different fathers, and hadn't been to a gym since high school. But somehow she deserved a perfect man. The public meltdowns and victim playing after bad behavior are becoming impossible to ignore. Some women will cheat, get caught, and somehow make themselves the victim. They'll destroy property, assault their partner, then cry when consequences arrive. They'll create chaos, document it, post it online, and wait for sympathy. And disturbingly, they often get it. There was a viral video last week. Woman admits to cheating with 3 different men. Her boyfriend leaves. She's sobbing on TikTok about how men can't handle strong women. And he never fought for us. The comments full of support. You deserve better, queen. He wasn't man enough. The gaslighting has become societal. The infatuation with fame and willingness to ruin relationships for attention is epidemic. Some women will throw away 5-year relationships because a semi-famous rapper liked their Instagram photo. They'll destroy marriages because someone with a blue check DM'd them. They'll abandon good men chasing fantasies that will never materialize. A client's fiancé left him because a local athlete started following her on Instagram. She genuinely believed this meant something. She broke off the engagement, pursued this guy who had followed literally thousands of women, got pumped and dumped in a week, then tried to come back. The delusion required to think or follow means anything is staggering. The blaming of partners for emotional issues they created themselves is exhausting to witness. She's unhappy. Must be his fault. She's anxious. He's not doing enough. She's bored. He's not exciting enough. The possibility that her unhappiness comes from within, that her problems are self-created, never enters the equation. I see this constantly. Women who are chronically dissatisfied. No matter what their partner does, he plans dates. They're not creative enough. He's romantic. It's too much pressure. He gives space. He's distant. He's attentive. He's clingy. The problem isn't him. It's that some people need chaos to feel alive. The gaslighting to avoid accountability has reached professional levels. Some women could teach masterclasses in narrative manipulation. They'll rewrite history in real time. That fight where she threw plates, he made me feel unsafe. That time she drained the bank account, financial abuse, the affair. Emotional neglect drove me to it. The recording culture has exposed this. Men are recording arguments now, protecting themselves. And what these recordings show is illuminating. Calm men being screamed at while being accused of raising their voice. Patient men being attacked while being called aggressive. The gap between accusation and reality is vast. The romanticizing of self-destructive behavior as empowerment is deeply concerning. Some women talk about OnlyFans like it's a Harvard MBA. They discuss having multiple partners like it's an achievement. They frame dysfunction as freedom. They mistake chaos for excitement. They confuse attention with value. There was this interview with a woman celebrating her entry into adult work. She spoke about it like landing a dream job, like it was something to aspire to. No discussion of consequences, impact on future relationships, or psychological effects. just empowerment and getting that bag. The normalization of this is surreal. The hiding or lying about past partners has become standard practice. Body count doesn't matter, but also never tell the truth about it. Some women genuinely believe they can hide extensive sexual histories and it won't affect their relationships. But truth has a way of surfacing, and when it does, the foundation crumbles. A guy I know married a woman who said she'd been with 3 people. 2 years later, at a party, drunk friend mentions the wild years when she was with different guys weekly. Turns out the number was closer to 50. Not judging the number and judging the lie. How do you trust someone after that level of deception? The disrespect towards men's health, pain, and suffering is something men are finally recognizing as unacceptable. Some partners dismiss physical pain as man flu, minimize emotional struggles as weakness, mock seeking help as fragility. Men's suffering has become a punchline in certain circles. I heard about a man who had a kidney stone. If you know that's excruciating pain. His wife rolled her eyes, said he was being dramatic, refused to take him to the hospital. He had to call an Uber while literally passing out from pain. She later posted on social media about men being babies when they're sick. He filed for divorce from his hospital bed. The normalizing of toxic behavior through external excuses is everywhere. I'm a Scorpio. I can't help being jealous. Mercury is in retrograde. That's why I cheated. I have anxiety, so my abuse is understandable. There's always an excuse, never ownership, always a reason, never responsibility. The astrology excuse particularly gets me. Some women will literally make major life decisions based on star positions, then wonder why their lives are chaotic. They'll sabotage relationships because our signs aren't compatible, while ignoring actual incompatibilities like values, goals, or basic respect. Men are learning to walk away immediately from partners who disrespect boundaries or use manipulation. The tolerance for games is gone. The patience for drama has evaporated. Men are recognizing toxic patterns earlier and leaving faster. No more years of trying to fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. The promoting of gold digger ideology as normal expectation is wild to witness. Some women openly state men should pay all their bills simply for the privilege of dating them. Not marriage, not commitment, just dating. They see nothing wrong with this. They call it knowing their worth. There's literal courses now teaching women how to extract maximum resources from men while giving minimum in return. They share strategies for getting gifts, trips, and cash while maintaining emotional distance. They celebrate using men for money. And then they wonder why men are becoming more guarded with resources. The reckless behavior framed as harmless fun, particularly in college years, is creating long-term consequences. Some young women brag about encounters in public bathrooms with multiple partners recorded and shared. They don't understand that the internet is forever, that reputation matters, that actions have consequences. A recruiter friend told me they now do deep social media searches before hiring. He's found videos of candidates in compromising situations posted publicly. These women don't get called back. Their hot girl summer becomes their unemployable winter. But nobody warned them because that would be shaming. The feminine entitlement toward high V-value men, while offering little in return, is mathematically impossible. Every woman deserves a top 1% man. They all deserve millionaires. They all deserve perfection. But what happens when everyone deserves the same tiny pool of men? Most end up with nothing, then blame men for it. The dependency masked as empowerment is particularly ironic. I'm a strong, independent woman who don't need no man, but he should pay my rent. They want traditional provision with modern independence. They want protection while claiming they don't need it. They want support while offering none. The zero accountability in serious situations shows a disconnect from reality. Some women treat legal issues like jokes, criminal behavior like quirks, serious consequences like inconveniences. They've been shielded from accountability so long they don't understand it exists. I saw a video of a woman casually asking a cop to handcuff her for fun during a traffic stop. She genuinely didn't understand why this was inappropriate. She thought consequences were optional. Law enforcement was entertainment. Rules were suggestions. The privilege required for this mindset is astronomical. The exploitation of lonely men through simp culture is heartbreaking to watch. Some women maintain dozens of male friends who pay their bills, buy them gifts, provide emotional support, all while knowing these men hope for more. They string them along with just enough attention to keep the resources flowing. One woman bragged online about having different men pay each of her bills. One for phone, one for car, one for rent. She called them her roster. These weren't boyfriends or partners, just desperate men she kept on hooks, and she saw nothing wrong with this exploitation. When men take advantage of and some women laugh, a man discusses being abused and it's minimized. A man expresses pain and it's weakness. The double standard is so normalized that pointing it out is considered misogyny. There was a podcast where a man shared how his ex-wife took everything in divorce after cheating. The female host laughed, said he must have fumbled her, suggested he probably deserved it. Imagine the roles reversed. Imagine male hosts laughing at a woman's divorce trauma. The cancellation would be instant. The destroying of relationships through perfectionism and constant criticism is driving men away en masse. Some partners nitpick everything. How he loads dishwasher, how he dresses, how he texts, how he breathes. Nothing is ever good enough. No effort is appreciated. No gesture is sufficient. A client's wife kept a literal spreadsheet of his mistakes. Forgot to put toilet seat down, logged, came home 10 minutes late, documented, bought wrong, brand of milk, recorded. She presented this as evidence he didn't care about the relationship. He presented divorce papers as evidence he was done with the insanity. The breakdown of respect within modern relationships is complete. Some women genuinely believe respect is optional, that it must be earned daily while theirs is automatic. They demand reverence while offering contempt. They expect worship while providing criticism. The social media influencers convince some women that relationships should be constant entertainment. If he's not planning elaborate dates weekly, he's low for it. If he's not posting about her daily, he's hiding something. If he's not performing romance for public consumption, he's not really committed. The reality disconnect is staggering. Some women living completely average lives believe they deserve extraordinary treatment. Working retail but expecting private jets. Living with roommates but demanding luxury vacations. Contributing nothing but expecting everything. The friend group reinforcement creates echo chambers of delusion. They tell each other they're all queens who deserve kings. They validate each other's toxic behavior. They encourage each other's destructive choices. They create alternate realities where accountability doesn't exist. A buddy's girlfriend had a friend group that met weekly to bash their boyfriends. They'd spend hours listing complaints, never mentioning anything positive. They'd encourage each other to demand more, give less, threaten to leave. 3 of 5 relationships ended within a year. Mission accomplished, I guess. The dating app culture has created massive inflation in expectations. Some women swipe through hundreds of men daily, rejecting 99% for minor flaws. Too short, wrong job, wrong style, wrong zodiac sign. They're shopping for humans like Amazon products, then wondering why they can't maintain connections. The victim mentality pervading everything makes resolution impossible. Every conflict becomes abuse. Every disagreement becomes gaslighting. Every boundary becomes control. When someone's always the victim, they never have to change. The casual cruelty toward average men is heartbreaking. Some women will match with men they're not interested in just for free meals. They'll lead men on for attention. They'll use men for emotional support while pursuing others. They see male pain as irrelevant, male hope as exploitable. The children being raised by these dynamics are absorbing toxic lessons. Boys learning they're defective by default. Girls learning entitlement is empowerment. Both learning that relationships are warfare, not partnership. The celebrating of single motherhood by choice while demanding men step up is contradictory. I don't need a man to raise kids, but also real men date single mothers. They want independence credit while requiring rescue. They want to be seen as strong while demanding support. The body positivity movement becoming obesity encouragement is concerning. Some women gain 100 pounds, then demand their partners find them equally attractive. They change fundamentally, then accuse men of being shallow for noticing. They demand acceptance while offering alteration. The financial exploitation normalized as dating is unsustainable. Some women see dates as income opportunities. They schedule multiple dates weekly for free food. They have rotation of men for different expenses. They've monetized romance while claiming to seek love. The communication styles that would be considered abuse if reversed as standard. Screaming, throwing things, silent treatment, emotional manipulation, all normalized when women do it. But a man raises his voice once. Abuser for life. The pregnancy trapping still happening despite denial is real. Some women lie about birth control, poke holes in condoms, retrieve discarded genetic material. They see babies as meal tickets, child support as income strategy. Then they wonder why men are getting vasectomies in record numbers. The divorce fantasy, some women. Maintained throughout marriage is toxic. They plan exits while saying, "I do." They calculate alimony during arguments. They document everything for future court use while claiming to work on the relationship. The social media performance replacing actual relationships is everywhere. Some women care more about the Instagram post than the actual date. More about the wedding than the marriage. More about the image than the reality. They're not building relationships, they're creating content. The hypergamy unleashed by modern options is creating massive loneliness. Some women reject good men waiting for perfect ones who don't exist or won't commit. They spend prime years chasing unavailable men and then panic when options shrink. The masculine behavior demanded then punished is schizophrenic. Be dominant but not controlling. Be protective but not possessive. Be emotional but not weak. Be successful but available. The contradictions are impossible to navigate. The rewriting of relationship history after breakups is Orwellian. Happy relationships become toxic retroactively. Consensual becomes coerced in hindsight. Love becomes trauma bonding when convenient. The past changes based on present feelings. The therapy language weaponized against men is exhausting. Every preference is controlling. Every boundary is abusive. Every standard is toxic. They've turned healing language into weapons while avoiding actual healing. The good men watching this are choosing solitude over suffering. They're seeing friends destroyed in divorce, brothers falsely accused, fathers separated from children. They're learning that the risk isn't worth the reward, that peace is better than partnership with someone adversarial. The generational impact will be severe. Marriage rates plummeting, birth rates crashing, families not forming, not because men hate women, but because men are protecting themselves from dynamics that guarantee suffering. The wake-up call some women are starting to have comes too late. At 35, 40, wondering where all the good men went. They went where they were appreciated, respected, valued. They went where effort was reciprocated. They went where they were wanted for more than resources. The men building lives without romantic relationships are thriving, financially stable, emotionally peaceful, physically healthy. They're proof that male happiness doesn't require female validation, that success doesn't require struggle, that life doesn't require drama. The documentation age we live in is exposing truths that were hidden before. Videos showing behavior, recordings revealing reality, posts proving patterns. Men aren't imagining things, they're seeing evidence. And evidence is hard to deny. The solution isn't complicated, but it requires something rare. Accountability. Some women recognizing their role in relationship failures, acknowledging their contributions to problems, accepting that respect must be mutual. The men who still want relationships are becoming incredibly selective. They're looking for partners, not projects. They're seeking peace, not problems. They're vetting for values, not just beauty. They're choosing carefully because they've seen the cost of choosing poorly. The cultural shift happening is permanent. Men aren't going back to blind trust. They're not returning to unconditional provision. They're not accepting one-sided arrangements. The awareness can't be undone. The truth men are waking up to isn't that all women are problematic. It's that problematic behavior has been normalized, celebrated, protected. It's that pointing out obvious issues gets labeled as hate. It's that expecting basic reciprocity makes you toxic. The irony is that women who genuinely offer partnership, respect, and reciprocity are also suffering. They're lumped in with those who don't. They're dealing with men made suspicious by experience. They're paying for others' exploitation. The path forward requires honest conversation about real dynamics, not man-bashing or woman-hating, but truth-telling about what's actually happening, about standards that don't match, about expectations that aren't reciprocal, about behaviors that destroy rather than build. Men are waking up to patterns they were told didn't exist, to realities they were gaslit about, to truths they were shamed for noticing. And this awakening isn't anger, it's clarity. Clarity about what they will and won't accept. The loneliness epidemic everyone discusses. It's not men being unable to find partners. It's men choosing solitude over toxic dynamics. It's men prioritizing peace over drama. It's men protecting themselves from patterns they've recognized. The correction that's come warning younger men about pitfalls. They're exposing patterns that were hidden. They're providing information that could save others from suffering. The accountability revolution that's needed starts with individual choices. Men choosing not to enable toxic behavior. Men refusing to accept double standards. Men walking away from disrespect. Men requiring reciprocity. The hope is that recognition leads to change, that exposing patterns leads to better behavior, that consequences lead to accountability, that truth leads to growth. But change requires acknowledgement, and acknowledgement requires honesty. The modern dynamics aren't sustainable. Something will give. Either behavior changes or relationships end. Either accountability arrives or solitude increases. Either reciprocity returns or men remain absent. The truth men are waking up to is simple. They deserve better than what's being offered. Better than criticism disguised as love. Better than exploitation disguised as dating. Better than abuse disguised as empowerment. The future belongs to those who build authentic partnerships, who offer genuine respect, who provide real reciprocity, who create actual value. The market is correcting, and those who don't adjust will be left behind. The men watching this need to understand your standards matter. Your boundaries are valid. Your peace is precious. Don't sacrifice these for anyone who wouldn't do the same for you. The women watching this who recognize these patterns in themselves have a choice. Continue down a path that leads to loneliness or change. Offer what you expect. Respect what you require. Value what you want valued. The relationships that survive this correction will be stronger for it. Built on mutual respect, genuine partnership, real reciprocity. The performance will end, the reality will remain, and those who can handle reality will thrive. The alarming truth men are waking up to isn't about all women. It's about toxic patterns that have been normalized. It's about behaviors that destroy rather than build. It's about expectations that take without giving. But truth, even alarming truth, is better than comfortable lies. Men are choosing reality over delusion, clarity over confusion, truth over gaslighting. And that choice, that awakening, is changing everything. The final message is this: men deserve relationships that add to their lives, not subtract. That build them up, not tear them down. That provide peace, not chaos. And if those relationships aren't available, solitude is a valid, honorable choice. Your happiness matters. Your peace matters. Your mental health matters. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Don't let society shame you for protecting yourself. Don't let culture gaslight you about what you're seeing. I want to hear your stories. What patterns have you recognized? What behaviors have you witnessed? What truths have you woken up to? Share in the comments. Let's document reality, expose patterns, and help men make informed decisions about their lives. The awakening is happening. The truth is spreading. The patterns are being recognized. And men everywhere are making the same decision to choose themselves, their peace, and their happiness over dynamics that guarantee none of those things. Stay strong, stay aware, and most importantly, stay true to what you know you deserve. Because you deserve better. And accepting less isn't noble, it's unnecessary.